All right, all right. And that was a word from our sponsor. Welcome back, welcome back. So, Dren, speaking on kids or youth, and just speaking on what works for me, right? I want to share a story with y'all. I want to share a an important story with y'all, right? And that's what this podcast again is going to be about. It's going to be about me not only sharing my point of views, but it's also me sharing my testimonies, right? What has worked for me, because I believe, really, I do and truly believe that I've been through enough, right? I've been through enough, and there has only been one way that I could ever get out of any situation that, might I add, I've put myself in, right? I have always been the conductor of my problems. Nobody else, At first, right? At first starting out, I didn't know, right? I didn't know that I was headed for systems that may not have been the best choice for me, right? Whether that be the prison system, whether that be the workforce, whether that be the military, right? Like I did not know what system I was headed for. So it really benefited me to figure, not only figure that out, but to get a word first, right? To get some knowledge behind my situation before I jump into another situation, right? And that's what I did, right? As a kid. And I put this on a post. I was telling y'all about my actual first time, like jumping into faith, not only jumping into faith, but really using Jesus's doctrine to to help me with my situation, right? The first time I've ever jumped into faith, the first time and the last time, this story, I'm going to tell you the first time and the last time that I was ever employed by anybody, right? This is my story. This is my testimony on how I started owning my time, how I started owning my day, and how I started figuring out how I could get myself just out of the situation that I was in, right? And again, I was introduced to a word, right? I was introduced to a word, and I was introduced to a word by my own father. You see, again, like I'm not gonna just give you bullshit. I'm not just gonna give you things that come like from what I think I know up here, right? I'm gonna give you straight out the scripture, because anytime I'm in trouble, anytime I got a problem, that's where I go to. That's where I rely on. This is my source, right? I don't lean on my own understanding, because who am I? Who am I? Right? Like I lean on a higher understanding, because sometimes, man, problems are bigger than me, right? Even though I've got myself in a situation, right? Sometimes, man, the problems are just bigger than me, and I gotta humble myself, and I gotta ask why, or I gotta figure out. So here we go. Coming from Matthew 25:15. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several abilities. And straightway he took his journey. So if you don't know what that means, let me rephrase that, right? To one man he gave 5 talents. To another he gave 2 talents. To another he gave 1 talent, according to his abilities, right? So Rashad got 1 talent according to my abilities, right? I love martial arts. I love mixed martial arts. But more than that, I love fitness, right? And so I have a talent, and I use this talent, right? But the only thing is I was letting someone else use my talent and my skills to to let them become rich, right? I was letting Crunch Fitness use my talent and my skill instead of Rashad using his talent and his skill. So I had to change that, right? So the year is 2010, 2012, and I moved to Miami, Doral to be specific. I moved to Doral Fountain Blue Miltons, right? And I have this whole dream of becoming a star in mixed martial arts. I I enroll into a I enroll into a school for martial arts, right? Me and my girlfriend are up there. She's going to FIU. I'm going to the MMA center just right across the street. But the only thing is, I'm all emotion about my dreams, right? Like I'm all emotions about my dreams, but emotions don't pay bills, right? And this school, they needed, monetary funds, right? They didn't need anybody with like high hopes or big dreams. They needed monetary funds to keep the school rolling, which I understand. So they have programs, right? They have programs, and I will make a long story short, but you know, I missed a day of, how can I put this? I missed a day of power washing the head instructors driveway, right? Like if you don't have enough money, then you do like little odd jobs. Like they'll have you stand outside on the corner for a whole hour and hold a sign. They will have you go to the head coach's house and power wash his driveway, you know? And what can I say? What can I say? I was in a position to be taken advantage of because, I had no funds, right? If I knew anything about trading, or if I knew anything about, at my talents, or just just what's in Jesus' doctrine, then I would have known to use my own talents for my own purposes. But again, I was using my talents. Well, someone was using my talents for their purposes, and that's just how it went, right? And so eventually I got kicked out of that school, right? Again, I missed a power washing day, and they kicked me out of that school. Not only did they kick me out of that school, like the gym manager tried to fight me. It was all bullshit. Like it was bullshit. But that's for a whole nother story. Like the MMA world and things like that, that's for a whole nother story. But anyways, so yeah, I was kicked out, right? I was kicked out of that school. And man, I was devastated because that was my plan A, right? That was my plan A. That was the only plan I had, right? And so, I walked home. I walked home devastated, just trying to figure out, like, damn, man, why am I being stepped on like this? Why am I being, why is life going like this for me right now? Because not only that, like, I was living in Miami. I was trying to work at the same time. So, I worked on South Beach. I lived in Fontainebleau. Oh, it was horrible, right? And I just had no knowledge. I was just somebody that was easy to use. So eventually it just came to a point where, like, everything was just going wrong, right? Like, me and my girlfriend, we were breaking up. I lost this job. I have no place to train, and I could do nothing but humble myself. And then, my brother tells me to call my father, right? Call my father. And so I called my father, right? And to be honest, that was the teacher I needed. I didn't need any mixed martial arts teacher. I didn't need any professor. I needed a person with wisdom who was going to show me how to really give this thing called life a go, right? Who's going to give me an introduction to some knowledge that I could use, right? And he didn't give me his own knowledge. No, 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 not at all. He gave me the knowledge of a word, right? He gave me Jesus' doctrine, right? We started right on Matthew. And he said, son, to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, to another 1 talent. To everyone he gave a talent according to his several abilities, right? And I'm like, what? Like, man, like, yeah, I got a talent, but who's going to take anything from me, right? So basically it just came down to a point where, I was waking up. Like, I finally mastered my craft. Like, not only did I master my craft, but oh man, not only did I master my craft, but I made a profession out of it, right? I got a certification, right? But I was still, I was still like leaning into faith, right? Like, I was still leaning into faith. I was leaning into it heavy because I had nowhere else to go, right? Like, the world was using me. Nothing was going wrong, right? Like, my like I could put it, right? I lost my job. I lost my school tuition. My girlfriend wasn't the person for me. Like, I think my dog died at that time. Like, things were just going bad, right? And so I had to humble myself. And in that humility, right, I found a word, right? I found a word. I connected with my father, who I hadn't seen much in my whole life. But, we connected, and he gave me a word to get me out my situation, right? And man, did I, right? Like, one morning, again, just one morning, like, I'm about to go to Crunch Fitness, but I'm still in this whole thing, man. Like, I'm giving people my talent. I'm waking up early in the morning, going somewhere where I don't want to go, giving me people my talent just so they could do whatever they want with it, right? Because I don't know anything to do with it, right? I got no knowledge on what to do with my own talent, right? So it's, it goes to Crunch Fitness. So every morning, right, I wake up at 3 a.m. from Doral, right? And I took a bus all the way to Hialeah, right? In Hialeah, it took me from 3 a.m. I woke up at 3 a.m., caught the bus at like 3:34, and then it took me, I had to be to work at 7 every morning, right? And man, that takes a toll, right? That takes a toll because, the bus ain't a very motivating place, right? You got people that are sick, ill, drunk, on drugs. And, you're just like looking, man, like, damn, is this life? Is this going to be my life? And so I made the decision, right? I said, Mr. Bus Driver, you could go. You could go. So, I watched him roll off, and I still have that vision in my head clearly because I watched him roll off. And when he rolled off, like, I was just so relieved, right? I went back to bed, and like I said, this was the best sleep I ever had, right? I've had the best sleep I ever had. And that was because I wasn't in bondage anymore, right? I said, man, I turned in, I gave him I said, forget this, man. I'm off the cotton field. I'm off the plantation, right? I'm going to go into business for my own. And that's what I did, right? That's what I did. As soon as I woke up, I was like, man, it's time to really work. So I contacted all of my clients that I had from Crunch, right? I made 300 flyers and I went around all Fountain Blue Milton and I passed them out until I had no flyers left, right? And you know how much calls I got back from that? Just one call, right? Just one call. But then one call turned into a referral, and then that referral turned into another person, turned into another person, and turned into another person. So now, after just that one piece of motion, right, putting those 300 flyers out, man, now I got a solid clientele group, and I'm in business for myself, right? I wish I could say that the story ends happily after that, but things come, right? Things come. I'm in business for myself now, right? My body's looking good. My physique's looking good. I'm looking good. But I only have the first half, or not even the first half. I only have this much of some new information, right? And what do? Man, I run with it, right? I run with it for the next 5 years. I'm in business for myself. But man, after that, it led to me having some information about my situation. But then, things develop. And if you get some good information, but you don't receive all the information, then that's very dangerous because, you can miss out on some stuff. And now you have this knowledge of working yourself out, training yourself. You got a nice looking body now. You are making money for yourself. You have your own time. But now, man, you use your free time to deceive others, right? Whether that be to sleep with a woman, but not have your best intentions for that, or break relationships because you think you're the shit and nothing else matters. Like, man, this thing's a beast, right? This thing's a beast, and you can't just get one piece of knowledge from this word and take it and run with it and think that it's going to be all good, right? You need all of it. So that happened. Let me see. I'm 37 now, right? But that happened when I was about 20. Let me see. 37. Let's say 2010. It's 2026. Oh man, 16 years ago. What? 37, 27, 27, 26, 25, 24, 30, 22, 20. Man, I was probably like when I was 22, 23. So probably around 2012, right? 2012. But it's taken that long, right? It's taken that long to, not make this thing about me, right? And, the things that I've reaped off it, like where I'm talking to you from now, like, I'll just show you a quick peek. This is my office, right? This is my office because I've mastered. Look, this is my office back there. I got my press because I've mastered, trading. I've mastered my time. But what I do with it morally, what I do with it spiritually, what I do with it concerning others, if I'm not lifting others, right, then I'm not getting the whole story, because that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're not supposed to take our talents and hide it from others and make others glorify us. We're supposed to take our talents and lift others just like we needed lifting. So I think that's it. I think that's going to wrap up our first podcast, right? I hope y'all got some good wisdom, some good knowledge. I know we only went over a lot. I mean, we only covered 2 topics today, but this is my first time at it, right? This is my first time going, and I hope y'all enjoyed that talk, right? I hope you got something out of it, right? I hope you young person, you young man, young woman, right? Maybe you need something to get out your situation of bondage, right? You need to know, take that talent, God has given you, abilities, right? Based on your skills. But you need to take your abilities. It's your responsibility to take your abilities and hone that, right? Not only that, but it's your responsibility after that to get the rest of this knowledge, right? Don't just run with what works for you like a lot of people do, but take this knowledge, take this information, right? And go live your life. All right, with that being said, man, I don't got any intros or outros yet, Again, the podcast was brought to you by the one and only Hebrew God, Son of the Hebrew God of Israel, Jesus Christ, right? I got nothing to do with it. I'm just, I'm being used. And man, I just hope, again, that this lifts someone's spirit like I once needed my spirit lifted, right? I hope my testimony, I hope these words lift your spirit like, again, I need my spirit lifted, needed my spirit lifted, and still to this day need my spirit lifted, right? Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye, 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 bye.
Hey, Clavis, wake up. The show's over.
Oh, yeah, kick it.